thought that transmigrating into a book would directly drop into the finale, and even become a beggar Leah who can't even get enough steamed buns. Begging on the street, she was hit by bird droppings. Finally, she got a steamed bun from Brother Beggar, but was attracted by a fancy pink carriage. This style is definitely a sucker. Oh no, a wealthy patron! Leah instantly became a master beggar, but she stopped the wrong person. This is actually the carriage of Prince Eric, the Jiaowang of the dynasty. What's more thrilling is that this prince not only insists on pink everywhere, but when he sees her face, his eyes are full of overwhelming hatred and shock. It turns out Leah looks exactly like the enemy who tormented him for years. One second she wanted to run away. The next, she was frozen in place by the prince's words, "I want to marry you." This star is simply hell mode. From a street beggar to a prince's concubine, Leah's life is like a roller coaster. She thought she would be killed for revenge, but unexpectedly, it's a paid substitute job. Looking at the pink decorations all over the room, who would believe this is a prince's study? Eric's obsession with pink is definitely a sequela of trauma. Faced with the temptation of 200 taels of monthly silver, the worker Leah instantly became a realist. Who cares about being a substitute? Making money is the top priority. Little does she know that behind this high-paying job lies Eric's ultimate revenge on his enemy, and a painful yet joyful working career begins. The price of high salary comes too soon. Eric is taking all his resentment towards his enemy on Leah. Kneeling for 2 hours is a double physical and mental torture for Leah, who just struggled from the street. But who makes the power of money so strong? Even if she is wronged and wants to cry, she can only endure it. Looking at Eric's cold and tangled eyes, it's not hard to see that he is punishing Leah's face, but torturing his own heart wrapped in trauma. This is not just kneeling, it's a drama of self-struggle, revenge. Breaking news, Prince Eric actually wants to give up all the noble ladies in the court and marry a street beggar. He directly overturned the chessboard at the concubine selection scene. Who wouldn't be stunned by this operation? The minister's expressions are just like workers whose plans were all rejected by the boss, full of disbelief. Is Eric's move deliberately angering the courtiers, or does he really have different feelings for Leah? It's probably the former. After all, his hatred for this face hasn't dissipated. Marrying Leah may be a more extreme way to continue his revenge on his enemy. And by the way, shut up the emperor and the courtiers. Leah's identity as a toolman is confirmed. The study at midnight hides Eric's most unbearable past. A nightmare instantly engulfs him in hatred, making the innocent Leah his outlet for venting. Kneeling all night is his unresolved obsession with his enemy, and also the ultimate manifestation of his inner fragility. He seems violent and indifferent, but his back-facing Leah is full of loneliness and pain. Leah was dragged here from her sleep, becoming a victim of his traumatic episode. This innocent disaster is heartbreaking and helpless. The sadness of a worker is fully reflected in her. When the boss goes crazy, the employee pays the price. When it comes to the self-cultivation of a money fanatic, no one dares to be the first except Leah. One second, she was begging bitterly. The next second, when she heard 100 taels an hour, she instantly revived with full blood, even throwing dignity aside. She thought she could make a fortune by pretending to be pitiful and currying favor, but Eric turned out to be a master of anti-routine. One sentence, not like her, overturned all promises, making a fool of Leah. This extreme tug-of-war is both funny and heartbreaking. Eric's unpredictability is just because in Leah, he not only sees the shadow of his enemy, but also can't help being moved by her vividness and authenticity. He can't even tell if he is taking revenge or testing. A large-scale scene of workers being forced to work. To attend the hairpin banquet, Leah had to bite the bullet and learn etiquette. Her lively nature encountering rigid rules is simply a disaster scene. Her frequent mistakes are just like us being forced to learn skills, both funny and real. And Eric's secret observation is definitely the ceiling of duplicity. Obviously, his mouth is about to grin to his ears, but he still pretends to be cold for fear of being found out his tenderness. His attitude towards Leah has already changed unconsciously, from pure revenge to a little concern that he doesn't even notice. The famous scene of the hairpin banquet is here. Eric, in a pink robe, outshines everyone, leading Leah, who was born a beggar, into the venue, which directly maximizes the attention. Faced with the ridicule and criticism of the noble ladies, Eric did not hesitate to protect Leah behind him. Who wouldn't be moved by this protective operation? On the surface, he is showing off with a substitute, but in fact, he is subconsciously protecting Leah. From being flustered to gradually at ease, Leah must have felt this extraordinary protection. This hairpin banquet is not only a social occasion for the powerful, but also a catalyst for the warming of their relationship, and the chains of hatred seem to be loosening. The annual Confusing Behavior Award. Leah actually took the initiative to frantically choose concubines for Eric at the hairpin banquet. This operation directly stunned Eric. While enthusiastically matchmaking for the prince, she was secretly calculating once the prince has a principal wife, she, as a substitute, can retire successfully and live a comfortable life with the silver. But she never expected that her kindness would completely ignite Eric's anger. Eric's gloomy face is not anger, but jealousy. He has long been used to Leah's company. Even as a substitute, he can't tolerate her pushing him to others. This crazy concubine selection directly pierced the window paper between them, and love quietly grew in anger.